Dr. Gary Chapman is a world-renowned counselor, pastor, and the best-selling author of The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts. It's a renowned book that sold over 20 million copies and has transformed how people give and receive love worldwide. Dr. Chapman joins us now to talk about his upcoming Canadian tour, inspired by the book, An Evening with Dr. Gary Chapman. Welcome to 100 Huntley Street, Dr. Chapman.
Well, thank you, Laura. It's great to be with you again.
We are always so thankful to have you join us, and I know our viewers at home are so excited to see you today. Dr. Chapman, your book, The 5 Love Languages, has touched millions of people's lives. Why do you think the message continues to resonate so deeply with people across the world, even decades after it was written?
I think, Laura, it's because we're humans. And one of our deepest emotional needs is the need to feel loved by the significant people in our lives. I like to picture that inside every one of us, there's an emotional love tank. And if that love tank is full, you really feel loved by the person, life is beautiful. The love tank is empty and you feel like they don't love me. Life begins to look pretty dark. I think that's why it continues to resonate with people year after year after year, because we are humans and we have an emotional need to feel loved.
We certainly do, and that resonates with my heart as you talk about it, Dr. Chapman, the reality that when we feel loved, everything else falls in line. When you talk about the 5 love languages in your book and throughout the work you've done, for those watching right now who might not know what those 5 love languages are, could you give us a brief description of each?
Yeah, one of them is words of affirmation. You look nice in that outfit. I really appreciate what you did. It's just affirming words to the person. And then there's acts of service, doing something for the other person that you know they would like for you to do. In a family, that would be washing dishes and vacuuming floors and changing the baby's diaper and other things. There's an old saying, actions speak louder than words. If this is their love language, actions do speak louder than words. And then there's gifts. It's universal to give gifts as an expression of love. The gift says, they were thinking about me. Look what they got for me. Then there's quality time, giving them your undivided attention. I'm not talking about watching TV together. I'm talking about giving each other your full attention, talking to each other after you watch the TV program, okay? Quality time, and then physical touch, affirming touches. We've always known the power of affirming touches. That's why we pick up babies and hold them and kiss them and cuddle them. Long before the baby understands the meaning of the word love, the baby feels love by physical touch. So affirming touches. And the basic idea is that each of us has a primary love language. And if you don't express love in my language, I will not feel loved, even though in your mind, you may be loving me in one of the other languages.
That's why it's so critical to understand this concept of the 5 love languages. I know in my own marriage, it was transformative to understand my husband's love languages and then my love languages and to share them with one another. I've been married for 22 years now, and I've heard people share recently that love languages can change over time. Is that true?
Well, I think they tend to stay with us throughout life. However, having said that, yes, I think there are seasons of life and circumstances in which another love language may jump to the top. For example, a mother who has 2 preschool children, acts of service may not be her primary love language, but during those years, it's going to jump to the top because she's overwhelmed with things to do. And there are other situations where I think, yes, it may change over time.
That's really interesting and very insightful, and I can identify with that mom with the 2 young kids and acts of service being so necessary. Oh, they're a breath of fresh air to our hearts in that season of life. Dr. Chapman, what do we risk when we don't pay attention to what the love languages that we need and have and that of our significant other? What do we risk?
Well, I think whenever we live with an empty love tank that is not feeling loved by our spouse or our close friend, it works in all human relationships, I think we tend to draw back from that person. And what we want to be doing if we have positive relationships is coming closer to that person. We want to be sharing more of life, but we tend to pull back from that. And in a marriage, often it leads to one of them deciding, well, I'm just out of here. I mean, I don't feel loved and I'm out of here. And that's tragic. So it is an essential to having long-term healthy relationships that we learn to speak love in a way that's meaningful to the other person.
Well, here at 100 Huntley Street, we are so passionate about equipping Canadians, married couples, families across the nation with stronger relationships. And that's why we're so excited about your upcoming tour, An Evening with Dr. Gary Chapman, which is coming to Canada this June. Can you tell us a bit more about the tour and what people who attend can expect?
Yes, it's for married couples, engaged couples, single adults, anyone that wants to have growing relationships. And we'll be in different cities, of course, each night. I deal with two topics. I call them the two essentials to long-term healthy relationships. The first essential is meeting each other's emotional need for love. We've just been talking about that. The second essential is that we deal effectively with our failures. I say that's an essential because none of us are perfect. You don't have to be perfect to have long-term healthy relationships. But you do have to deal with your failures, and that involves apologizing and forgiving. But in apologizing, we have different ideas on what a sincere apology looks like. And sometimes we miss each other because we're speaking the wrong apology language. So I'll share those that evening. And also I talk about what forgiveness does and what forgiveness does not do. For example, forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. And one of those choices is to remove the barrier that is created so that our relationship can go forward. So we're going to deal with those two essentials. And I can almost guarantee, Laura, the folks that attend will have fun. And not only will it help them in their relationship, but it will equip them to help other people have good relationships. I'm really excited about the tour. Looking forward to being there.
Dr. Chapman, tell us when we can see you here in Canada.
It's June 23 through 28. Looking forward to being there.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you. I know my husband and I are going to be attending one of your events, and our 100 Huntley Street viewers are going to want to track with you and also attend events. Dr. Gary Chapman, thank you so much for being with us today and for all you do to strengthen marriages, families, and relationships across the world.
Well, thank you.
Friends, don't miss your chance to experience An Evening with Dr. Gary Chapman this June 23rd to 28th across several Canadian cities. We want you to experience thriving relationships and also to have a great night of joy and fresh insight as well as relational transformation. To get your tickets now, go to equip.ca/tickets and come ready to grow in love.